the way we see our own teaching pedagogy and the way we are focusing our practice right now, like the whole aspect of online teaching has really got me thinking about what can I do to better myself through technology, through online teaching. And I realized that my pedagogy that was once, have a textbook, have a book, has to kind of change a little bit. I need to now start thinking, how can I make the most out of Zoom? How can I make the most out of OneNote? And then tie that in with, I guess, more communication. And that's one thing that I realized has gotten me through all of this, is the fact that I can communicate and talk to all my colleagues who are working so hard. I had a colleague who was marking till 3 a.m. the other night. And, it's just like having that support, teaching each other how to use OneNote, teaching each other how to use Zoom, and, having that network, which is really, really influenced me at the moment.
It's certainly been such a steep learning curve with the technology. I think we're all seeing the benefits of that at the moment. Like I 100% like what you mentioned before, Blake, we're all using sort of different systems, and because we ourselves, we haven't sort of been familiar with it all, we're sort of making decisions along the way. There was a particular example, sort of the maths department at my school, we were using one particular platform, and then going into the COVID phase, we decided to change. We found one that was more effective, and we decided to go to that. But it's kind of like, do we stick with what we know, or do we move to this new system? It might be better, but then, is that worth getting the kids up and running on that? Because that's something that they need to get used to and adapt to. And that's another challenge in what is already a really challenging situation for them as well. So there was definitely, finding that sort of balance, and what's most effective for what we need right now.
And I feel like I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with technology at the moment. I mean, yes, it's been wonderful with some of the things we can do online. But I think for me as well, particularly as a music teacher, we can't do any practical work at home because some students might not have instruments. So because we're relying on this technology, I'm almost sometimes relying on my students' literacy skills to be able to, read the information, engage with information through a video form, and extrapolate information from that, and then be able to convey that in writing or in some sort of form so that they can send that back to me. So it's sort of really emphasized the power of face-to-face teaching and how essential it is. And I think even, with those discussions around, can AI do better than a teacher? I think COVID might have emphasized that maybe not, or at least not yet.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I was just going to jump in there quickly, Linda. Like, we're supposedly living in the age of free education, and, we can jump on YouTube and check out a how-to video on just about anything these days. But I think this has definitely proven that, our jobs are never going to become obsolete. There will always be the need for that human interaction. Only we know our students really well, and, we're able to pitch a question to them that zones in on their, that uncertainty they're feeling, and a video just can't do that. We can respond to the situation we're seeing, and we can react much better. And, online videos, regardless of the amount they watch or anything, we're always going to be needed. And, it also has really demonstrated to me the importance of, when we explore the nuances of the content we're teaching, we get to delve in and explore the complexities of what we're learning. And, it's those really rich discussions that can occur in the classroom that, the online platform just hasn't facilitated that anywhere near as well. And that's something I'm really looking forward to, when we get back to the classroom, as, okay, what's this mean? Okay, why might that be? That sort of thing. Really sort of getting that out of your students. It's much harder to do online. You can't see them. You can't see their facial expressions. Is an answer on the tip of their tongue? you know, you can't pick that up online like you can in the classroom.